Yeah. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the land of Reckless Logicc. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please smack the notification bell so do not miss any more posts from me. Let's get straight into this video. Alrighty, y'all. Y'all already know why we're here. We're here because we're going to talk about the things and talk about the people. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Now, I done attempted to make this video several times. I just can't get it together. My tongue is tied, and the one time I'm actually successful at making this video, I rolled the cameras back and found out my audio was messed up, so now I'm back. So I'm also gonna let you know this gonna be the last time I make this video. Alright? But let's get into the things of the things. LA wildfires has been a very sensitive tragedy that has caught a lot of media attention. Politicians, celebrities, and everyday regular people have given their opinions and criticisms to people like the state of California's governor, Gavin Newsom. There's also been conversations surrounding this coincidental budget cuts that happened weeks prior to the wildfires. Now, I do have an update here. This is brought to you guys by World Star Hip Hop, and it reads, 4 arrested for arson as Los Angeles wildfires claim 25 lives. I'm gonna say this. I am happy that there are conversations surrounding these coincidental budget cuts for the fire department in the state of California, because that doesn't even make sense. Because why would you decrease the funding of the fire department in a state where you know that you're going to experience wildfires more commonly than any other state? That doesn't make any sense to me. That's like here in Florida, them decreasing hurricane relief when they know that we experience hurricanes like a month around here. That doesn't make any logical sense. Another thing I do want to say, and this is going to be a transition to this. I'm also not shocked that this tragedy occurred in this era. What do you mean this era? I'm glad you asked, ladies and gentlemen. It's the age of Aquarius. The objective for the age of Aquarius is to take old philosophies, old systems, and throw them bad boys about the window. Anything that has been the underbelly of our society is going to come to the surface and is going to be put under a microscope. Either one or two things are going to happen. Either it's going to be reformed or it's going to be thrown out the window. And so with this tragedy that has occurred, it has put people in the hot seat and it's put them under a microscope, and it's also brought different people and added them to the conversation to also pay attention to different topics like the government. So people who's not usually into politics, now they're wondering, okay, what's going on? It's making them pay attention. People who normally don't care about climate change and all these things, now they're starting to pay attention. Like, okay, this is a serious issue. What's going on? It's making people pay attention. I'm also going to add this into the conversation because I'm going to have to be honest. I'm not the biggest spokesperson for conspiracy theories. That's just not my thing. Because to be completely honest, I believe that some people use conspiracy theories as a way to deflect from the real conversations and the real issues that need to be addressed. And especially if those conversations also are a part of them taking accountability for the part that they played. I do believe that people use conspiracy theories as a way to deflect. I do. But I'm going to have to be honest. I believe currently that there is an agenda to depopulate the globe from the elites. I do believe that at this point. Reason being is because if you take a look at what's happening here, everywhere, around the globe, there's always some type of weird tragedy that no one can explain. No one knows how or why these things are happening. No one knows why these fires are even being set. No one knows anything. We have these tragedies happening. Let's not forget, not too long ago, we had someone literally in their car driving down Bourbon Street just because he was going through some things. You got all these tragedies happening. You have lack of resources and or food. People aren't making enough money. We don't have the resources to support the population that's already here, in addition to people having excess amount of children and the population growing in numbers. And then you have different viruses and bacteria and diseases taking people up out of here. Now, one can argue and say, well, you know, viruses and disease, they're going to mutate. That's just science. And that is the truth. But to add insult to injury is that there's an issue, there's a solution. When there's a problem, there's an answer. The answer to said viruses has been either shots or medication. But to add insult to injury, those solutions, aka the shots and medication, also has been taking people up out of here. But there still has been strong advocates for those solutions and a huge push for those solutions, despite the fate, one can argue, both being the same. But that's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to say too much, because I don't need YouTube to get me up out of here. So we're gonna move on. So we done talked about the LA wildfires, and we're gonna still condolences to the families of the victims. And now we're gonna tiptoe and make our way over to Arizona. Now, an Arizona man ends up taking his life because he was exposed for having clothes at the top and not really having clothes at the bottom. Now the name of this man is Nautica Malone, and he was exposed online, of course, like I said 2.5 seconds ago, because he was in a drive-thru and the barista decided to take a video of him having no clothes on from the waist down, and he drove off. Now his mother ended up speaking out. Now his mother, to wrap it all up, his mother ended up speaking out. Essentially what she said, this is the woman, because she sent the picture, this is the woman that exposed my son and the reason why he took his life. We have to fight for injustice, and this is her fault, essentially, and blame the woman. That's essentially what she said. That's basically what I got from it. That's essentially what she said. I'm going to be honest, because I did some digging. I read a couple of articles. Now, to my understanding, from the cafe, it's a consistent theme that their uniform is given very much Hooters or Twin Peaks. It's very revealing or very tight. That is what I've read from articles about the barista, about the cafe. Now, in the video, in the comment section, there were conversations surrounding mental health, conversations surrounding corporate, and also conversations surrounding it was mental health, corporate, and conversations surrounding ethics. I'm gonna be honest. Do I believe that she was wrong for recording? One can argue yes or maybe no. I'm just gonna add a little bit of pushback, because let's just say, okay, cool, to the mother's point. Let's just say she did go to corporate about this issue, about this man being inappropriate in the drive-thru. At that point, it would have been her word against his, because let's just say she did address it. And let's just say there are cameras in the drive-thru. But one can argue that those cameras aren't going to catch him from the waist down having no clothes on. So for her, she probably would have thought, her thought process would have been, let me actually video record this, because when I do go to corporate, they can't deny what I'm saying as the truth or a lie. They're gonna be able to see it for themselves. Because let's just say if I do address it, he could just drive off, and then no one else would have seen it. Then also, there's conversation surrounding mental health. I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of lean more into the theory that he was just doing some BS and he got caught doing it. Reason being is because in the video, you hear him explicitly say, when the barista asked him, have you been here before? He said yes. And if I take into account that this is a place where the attire for the baristas, who are also men and women, is very revealing, like a Twin Peaks or a Hooters, and you are in your vehicle and you don't have any clothes on from the waist down, it's easy for me to believe that this person was trying to look at these people in a certain light and was trying to get one off. That's just what I believe. I could be right, I could be wrong. Now, one can also argue that two things can't be true at the same time, which I agree. Because one can argue, what stable mentality would have you to believe that that was okay? So two things can be true, but I'll be completely honest, I personally believe that he could have just been someone being on some BS and getting caught and being held accountable for his BS. So that's what I believe. But I do want to send condolences to the family. I do believe the mother needs to kind of, and I'm gonna say it like this: I do get the mother's response on because she's reacting out of trauma, out of emotion as of right now. Because when you have a relative that has taken their own lives, or a relative or a tragedy that has happened, you looking for someone to blame. Instead of actually acknowledging that your son probably was on some BS, not taking into account that he might have some mental issues, but just acknowledge that your son probably was on some BS, and so with him being on some BS, he's going to be held accountable for the stuff that he does. You're looking to blame the other people holding him accountable instead of what your son actually did. So that's all I'm going to say on that. We're going to move on. So now we done talked about Mr. Malone and we're sending condolences to his family. Now we're going to make our way over to Diddy and the BS that he said. So according to the Neighborhood Talk, it says, Diddy says the 9 freak-off tapes Cassie submitted to the feds showed them having consensual sex where she was the dominant one. No hidden cameras, no other celebs, no underground tunnels, no minors. Now I'm going to say this, because also in this post, in the comment section, people were having their Pappy and Mammy Luther King speeches trying to blame Cassie, but not blame Cassie. They're being very subtle about it. And I'm going to say this. For me personally, it's hard for me to give Diddy the benefit of the doubt because he has explicitly lied about the existence of Cassie's claims. Because let's go into a time machine. When Cassie first began to speak out about her experiences with Diddy, let's not forget that Diddy, I need for you to come close. You were saying that you were calling it a money grab on Instagram. But then, like, sometime later, those tapes had came out, and then you were singing a different tune, player. All of a sudden, you were up on Instagram, giving an apology, saying you're trying to become a better man every single day. But 2.5 seconds earlier, you were calling Cassie's claim a money grab. So for me, it's hard for me to give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, I'm going to say this. There is probably a reality where Cassie may be downplaying her involvement with Diddy and the stuff that he likes to do, and as a way, I'm going to say, in efforts to fully demonize Diddy. There's probably a reality in that. But I'm going to have to pose a question, because maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just misinformed. I don't know. But the reason I have to pose a question is because I want to know, what is it that Cassie did that would make people believe that she's not as innocent as she's trying to come off? This is the reason why victims don't come out and say a motherfucking thing to none of us. Because us as the general public, we get so sidetracked and we want to blame the victims so bad. Now, I do understand not fully believing a victim when they first come out is because we also have stories where victims have completely lied, and we also have stories when the perpetrators have fully lied. So a lot of times people want to be neutral. But the issue is that even when you have more statistics and facts that back up a person, a victim, you still want to demonize the victim. And the issue that I also take is that I think it's very interesting that the same groups of people that are in the comment section giving a Mammy and Pappy Luther King speech about Cassie only wanting to be with Diddy because of money, and the she who had to do this and do that, are the same groups of people that if you give them the right dollar amount, they're gonna bend those morals. They're gonna do some things that they said they would never do, depending upon how many zeros are behind said digits. So for me, it's just, especially knowing that Diddy also has a reputation, allegedly, of doing crazy, violent things to people. Because let's not forget, allegedly, didn't Diddy have Wale by his ankles over a balcony, allegedly? So, reason why I said all of that is to say this. Why is it so hard for people to believe that there's a reality of Cassie hearing about the rumors of Diddy? Because keep in mind too, Cassie's not the only one that heard rumors about Diddy, but keep in mind, that's not the first time. She's not the only one that has ever wanted to be in relations with Diddy. She's not the only one that wanted to do business with Diddy. She's not the only one that wanted to be that wanted to be connected with Diddy. Because let's be very clear, we also heard rumors about Diddy, but that didn't keep people from playing his music. So why is it so hard for people to believe that there's a reality of Cassie hearing about those rumors, and then getting into relationship and business with Diddy, and then being trapped in a relationship, being trapped in a contract with Diddy, and seeing behavior that solidifies those rumors, but also being coerced with said fame and money and connection to Diddy, also coupled with the idea that allegedly, if you try to move on with your life, it gets very rough over there. Why is that hard to believe? But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I really want to know what people think, but I'm going to continue. So once we get done talking about Diddy and him being locked down in the penitentiary and he have to fight for his zebra cakes and his paydays, let's make our way to Tito D and Tito Dumb, and we're going to talk about Cardi B and Offset. So this is brought to you guys by, hold on girl, let me hurry up and get to it, girl. This is brought to you guys by World Star. It says Cardi B claims Offset and his mom robbed her. Okay, we're going to get into this.
Listen, after you and your mama robbed me. Yeah, you and your mom robbed me cold. Wipe my nose. Where the Christmas gifts at? And you know what? I already know why a motherfucker. I already know. I didn't want her to do this because this is what a motherfucker want. A motherfucker want me to go on social media to crash out so I could look crazy, so that they could look like they don't bother. That was always their plan. That's why I've been quiet. But you're gonna stop fucking playing with me, and you're gonna sign these fucking divorce papers, bitch ass nigga.
So, Miss Cardi B, I love you so dearly. Come close, sis. As you, in that lovely presentation, you express that you are aware that he wants you to spaz out and he wants you to act a fool and all of that. But I have to ask you a question. Then why are you doing it? If you know what his end goal is, then why are you doing it? Now, Cardi B, love you dearly, but we're gonna have a conversation. Come close, sis. The issue is that you are acting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over this nagga, and he is tarnishing. Well, one of the reasons why it's going to tarnish your brand, and it's going to do nothing but give more ammunition for your ops. Because let's be very clear. You stopped making music for this nagger. You put a part of your career on hold for this nagger. And I understand that behind the scenes you were still having your deals and you were still doing your big one, but you've even expressed yourself that you stopped doing music because of him. You keep giving this man energy is going to do nothing but fuel his ego and continue to fuel and pump him up. That's the reason why, even to your point, that's the reason why when he always want to give you text messages, send you text messages, he texts you all the time because he's trying to get a response out of you, sis. That's the reason he wants you to spaz out, like on X, formerly known as Twitter, y'all, where you're spazzing out, sending him tweets and stuff. Y'all tweeting each other back and forth, back and forth. In addition to y'all being in the club and y'all throwing money on each other, y'all arguing back and forth. That's another reason why, to your point, he doesn't want to sign the divorce papers, because he still wants to be tied to you and still wants to have access to your aura and or energy. And it does not help that you, I don't know about current present day, that you over here sleeping with the man still on occasion because you don't want your body count to go up, or because you don't want to be. You better get your rose, sis. You're gonna have to stand up and get some emotional intelligence and start acting like Beyonce to the BS. Address it in your music. And to be honest with you, because I also see another post you saying, I can't wait to release this album. At this point, stop promoting the album. At this point, just release the album. It has been several years and you still haven't put out this second album. And I'm also gonna say this, I'm gonna end off on this and we're gonna move on. I'm be honest with you, when it comes down to this album, I wouldn't even say anything about the album until it's at the last stage of the album being released, to the point I can't control it. As in, it's gonna come out on this date and there's nothing I can do to control it from coming out, to stop it from coming out. But let's move on. So we got done talking about Tito D and Tito Dom, and hopefully we can get the next voodoo doctor with a couple of chickens to break their soul ties, because baby, it's too much going on over there. Now we're going to tiptoe and make our way over to the courthouse, over to Congress, over to the legislative branch, because they over there acting a plum fool and acting real ratchet over there. So now we got Representatives Jasmine Crockett and Nancy Mace over there going crazy. Now, this is brought to you guys by Neighborhood Talk. It says, oop, Rep Jasmine Crockett gets into a heated exchange with Nancy Mace after thinking Rep Crockett referred to her as a child. And it says, if you want to take it outside, we can do that. Now, here's the thing. I think it's very interesting that she can make all these threats, but there was no contention of trying to keep everything calm. Now, I will say this. I do understand that Congress get a little ghetto. Or no, I'm not going to say a little ghetto. It get ghetto as hell over there. But when certain people go to speak and return said energy back, it's made a big deal. But when other people do it, it's like, it's just, okay, we're just going to ignore it. But let's continue. Let's hear what she had to say.
Somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or not.
Do not call me a child. I am no child.
I want to find out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those emails actually have. Chairman, I am reclaiming my time.
You will not do that. I am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman and committee is.
Now she gonna talk about we're gonna take it outside, but here's my thing as well. Now, in addition, they have been going back and forth on the internet. I don't know exactly what sites or whatever, but I will say this, is that because I had this conversation yesterday or the day before on CTV's panel about this trans bathroom issue. To me, it's BS. Reason being is because people don't even have the statistics to back up their claims that transgender women being in the bathrooms is a danger to women. And I don't like the fact that they use the extreme examples of trans women who are either not mentally there, or there's some other issues going on with those trans women, and they use that small minority and they push those narratives and those examples onto the rest of the community. I do not like that, especially when there are statistics to back up the fact that biological men are more of a danger to women and children, but that does not keep cis or bio women from being connected to bio men, having children with bio men, and having being in connection in terms of family, as in cousins, brothers, with those bio men. That does not stop that, even though you have the statistics to prove it. So to me, that screams something else is at play. And also, it also speaks to the fact that people don't want to actually address the transphobia, because essentially what you're saying or not is that the reason why you're treating those trans women and you're making those claims is because you still see them as men, and you have unresolved issues with men, and you're projecting those same issues onto trans women because you see them just like men. That's really what it comes down to. And even when you let people speak long enough, they're going to snitch on themselves, because also in those conversations, women also speak and talk about how other cis or bio women are disgusting in the bathrooms and also inappropriate in said locker rooms when children are present, and when those other women are explicit and show everything up under the sun in those locker rooms. And also talk about how women are disgusting in those bathrooms, shaving and waxing. And also talk about how they're disgusting because they have tampons all over the place, and pissing here, pissing there, or not wiping after themselves or whatever. So I need for us to keep that same energy and also be truthful in those conversations, so we can really deal with the real issues at hand. Now, I'm going to say this because I don't want this video to be too long. Let's get into Donald Trump and these tariffs. At the end of the day, Donald Trump has said that he wants to come up with a plan to essentially make other countries pay for said tariffs. Now, this is the reason why this is not going to work. For one, that's not how tariffs actually work. Tariffs puts a tax on imported goods. So, business owners have to get certain supplies from different nations because of where they are geographically, which means there are no competitors for said supplies, which means that you can't lower said prices of supplies because they're the only ones that have the said supplies because of where they are, which means they control those prices, which means business owners are going to be paying those taxes, which is those tariffs, which means that it only logically makes sense for them to increase their prices to make their money back, which means that the consumers are going to be the ones paying for those tariffs. In addition, if we're going to do that, some things like cars has to go over the borders several times, which means that they're going to be taxed like this, like this, like this. So it logically does not make any sense. And I just want to end this video because I'm not trying to have this bad boy 30 minutes long. But y'all let me know what you guys think about my conspiracy theories that I believe, about the man being exposed and taking his own life, about Diddy and the BS that's coming out of his mouth, and the Pappy and Luther King speeches in the comment section, Cardi B, and us having to get in contact with a voodoo doctor to cut their soul ties, Jasmine and Nancy going back and forth, and also Trump and these tariffs. Y'all let me know what you guys think in the comment section. That is it for my video for today, guys. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please, please, please smack that notification bell so you do not miss any more posts from me. Till next time, guys.